So, good morning to everyone. I'm Luca Sani. I am a researcher at the National Research Council of Italy, and I am one of the responsible of Isolario, which is a project that I am going to present you. So, our research interest is the analysis of the internet at the autonomous system level. This kind of research tries to study the internet from a global point of view, trying to figure out how the different players that composes the internet, namely the autonomous systems, interact each other in terms of routing in order to make possible the full internet reachability. This kind of information then can be used as a basic brick to build other analysis and stuff. For example, it can be used as input to realize realistic interdomain routing simulators, or to study the impact that a given routing attack would have on the network, and so on. As you may know, data that is used to analyze the internet at this level is provided by route collectors. A route collector is nothing more than a machine which is able to establish a BGP session and receives packet from a cooperating autonomous system. The collector does not announce back anything to the autonomous system, and also does not use the neighbor as transit for any kind of traffic. These are the most known projects that not only deploy the route collectors around the world, but also made and make available to the public the data that they collect. These projects are route views of the Oregon University, the Routing Information Service of RIPE NCC, and Packet Clearing House. It is well known that data provided by this project is invaluable to perform this kind of analysis. But it is also well known that it is far from being completely representative of the internet AS level ecosystem. At some point in our studies, we tried to quantify how much incomplete the data is. And this kind of problem can be formalized using an optimization problem, of which I am going to skip the details, but if you are curious, we can discuss about it offline. The idea is that we should find the minimum number of autonomous systems that should participate to a route collector, giving the full table, in order to be able to reveal the full connectivity of all autonomous systems performing transit in the internet. The result is that the number of autonomous systems that should connect is much higher than the number of ASs currently connected. Currently, there are about 250 autonomous systems providing a full table, and they would be required like 3,000 in order to have a better view. Another way to see this incompleteness is to check the number of autonomous systems currently covered by the current route collector infrastructure. In this table, there are the numbers for the autonomous systems divided by region. All the countries are under the American registry legislation. As you can see, the most covered regions are the USA and Canada, but the percentage is far from being 100. So this is mainly caused by the fact that, as I said, there are a small number of autonomous systems currently providing a full table to the route collector projects. What we thought is that maybe not all network administrators are interested enough in sharing their routing information without receiving anything back. So this is why we tried to propose Isolario, which is a route collector project based on the DODES principle. In this project, if you decide to open a BGP session, you will receive in exchange a set of real-time monitoring services based on the input data. So this is the big picture of the system. The participants open a session with our route collectors. Then data, besides being collected, it is also sent throughout the system, and results of the applications are computed and presented to the users through a web server. meaning that users can access Isolario services using a normal web browser. So the starting point to realize real-time services on BGP data is to slightly modify the classic concept of route collector. So in this system, when data arrives, it is split into flows. On one end, it is sent to a dedicated route collecting software, which is also which is the responsible for maintaining up the session with the participant. And also it is sent to dedicated modules which are requesting the access to the data. The route collecting software must also be able to answer from queries coming from the real-time services. For example, a service may want to retrieve in real time the set of routes that a given participants announced to Isolario in order to reach a given portion of the IP space. This software is completely custom, so we don't use Quagga or Bird, because we needed the ability to be able to retrieve information in real time without affecting the collecting process. So these are the services that are currently available, with the exception of historic services that are ongoing. The icons that you see on the side of the names are the icons that you can find on the portal. And while I am speaking, if you want, you can try yourself the services by logging in into Isolario portal using the guest credentials. So now I am going to show you some of the available services. The first class of services is the class of real-time services, which enables a user to monitor in real time data that is flowing into Isolario system. One of the services is the routing table viewer. With this service, the user can select one of his routers, and then insert a subnet. The system will retrieve in real time the set of routes that his router announced to Isolario to reach that given portion of subnet. The results are presented in the form of a table and are correlated with different kind of statistics. For example, among the statistics, there is the autonomous system dependency, which tells to you which is the most important autonomous system for your network in order to reach that portion of IP space. As soon as an BGP event happens, the results will be updated without the user need to refresh the page. Another service is the subnet reachability. So in this case, the user has to insert a subnet, and the system will retrieve the routes that all the participants used to reach that portion of IP space. So if you use this service by inserting one of your network, you will be able to monitor your inbound reachability from all the perspective of Isolario participants. In this case, the autonomous system dependency tells to you the autonomous systems that are the most important for you in order to be reached from the outside. Clearly, the more the participants, the more usable is this service, but also the data becomes hard to display. For this reason, we tried to integrate into this service the real-time version of BGPlay. BGPlay is an open source tool for the visualization of BGP routing, and by collaborating with his creator Massimo, which works at RIPE NCC, we managed to integrate his real-time version in this service. So data that is displayed in the form of a table can also be viewed using this tool. Another class of services is the class of diagnostic services. The idea is that with these services, the user should be able to configure the services just once and then be reached without the need to be logged into the system. The first service is the classic alerting system. You can set up different kind of alarms. For example, you may want to be advertised when your router is announcing to Isolario a route containing a particular pair of autonomous system into the autonomous system path, or maybe when your router is announcing flapping routes, or also, for example, if and when one of your networks is being originated by a non-legitimate origin. Notification will be sent to you through email or through post to a custom HTTP server, and also you can view the notification on the website. Another diagnostic service is the daily report. This is a document that Isolario computes each night by using not only the data collected by our participants, but the data collected by all the available route collecting projects. The idea is to give to the network administrator a document that contains a deep analysis of the internet as it is perceived by all the possible points of view. The content is completely customizable and contains, for example, statistics about the anomalous autonomous system paths, for example, containing loops, private autonomous systems, or the most unstable routes, and so on. Contains also all the events related to the network administrator autonomous system. For example, all the routes used to reach his own autonomous system. So in summary, what we try to create is a route collector project useful to perform troubleshooting, at least at the interdomain routing level. So for example, if something is happening, you may be advertised with the alerting system. You may correct the problem and check if everything is going well using real-time services. These are the current participants to the projects. Most of them are Italian. We started from our country. And in total, there are 57 autonomous systems connected, 65 IPv4 sessions, and 48 V6. Also, we are a research project, and we provide all the data that we collect to the public, like all the other projects. So routing information-based snapshots and the collection of updates. Also, we provide some ready-to-use information extracted from this data. For example, autonomous system characteristics, the contribution of participants, and the coverage of the current collection system. And also, we are starting to provide some open source software. For example, the software that collects data, the route collecting software, and a software that we use to read the stored data. So last but not least, I'd like to point out some points that often are asked me when I present Isolario abroad. So isn't Isolario just another routing analysis tool? Not only because we try to improve the completeness of the dataset by collecting data and providing something in return. So we do not exploit data of others. We try to just enhance the available BGP dataset. And again, I am not here to tell you that you should open a BGP session with Isolario, but maybe that you should open a BGP session with a route collector. Then if you think that Isolario services may be useful for you, we are more than happy then to open the session with you. And last, we are a research project, so we are open to any kind of collaboration. If you can't open a BGP session, but you want to use the data in some way, there are no problems. We can find an agreement. And we are also open to any suggestion to improve the services, because we are just a researcher and we are not too much into the interdomain troubleshooting. So that's all. Thanks for the attention. If there are questions, they are welcome.